This is how to build the Beast Titan in a 1-to-1 scale in Minecraft. This is based on a design that was created by the YouTuber Nav9, so credit to them for coming up with the original, and what I've got here is a modified version that I've made to be as realistic as it can be. This makes use of some world edit tricks and also some invisible item frames. And don't worry, if you don't have that, then there are some other options that you can take. I'll explain that when we get to it. Let's start by looking at all of the materials that you will need for this build. And in the bottom right, we've got 2 glow item frames that are going to be invisible, and then these are going to be for the eyes. And if you don't have access to commands, then you can choose to use item frames if you want, but it might not look the best, but I would definitely recommend doing it if you have access to commands. Here's some additional information. There is going to be a certain banner, and I'll show you how to make that when we get to that. And then this is going to be for the eye. It's just command block that gives it to me, and I will paste the command for this in the description. So if you want to use that, you can just copy and paste that into the chat. Alright, now let's get started with building. I'm going to be going layer by layer. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, then you will know that I use a mod, that lets me build layer by layer instead of memorizing the whole thing. So these are going to be the feet. The pose he's in, you saw it in the intro, but it will be mostly standing straight up and extending one arm out a little bit while holding a rock. This is going to be the knuckles, or maybe the ends of the fingers for one hand. And yeah, his arms do reach pretty low. And if you want this, if you want both arms to be down, you saw the build in the intro, so you know what it looks like in the end. That's what I'm going to be making, but if you want it to be symmetrical, you want both arms to be down, then you can just mirror this on this side. So for example, you just go like that, and then just build that up the way this is being built up, but that's not what I'm going to do. Trapdoors on the side to give it some more depth. Next layer. There's going to be a lot of these fences, and if you don't want the fences, you can replace them with walls, which are a bit thicker and they don't have this space in between that looks kind of weird when you get up close, because obviously he doesn't have holes in him, but this is actually the wrong one. That's supposed to be spruce. This one I'm gonna make some temporary blocks, put it like that, and get rid of those. And trapdoor up there. Next layer. Here we've got some more nether brick walls. Unfortunately, there's no brown colored walls that are darker than granite, at least. Oops. Walls again. Wherever there's solid blocks, I try to mostly use spruce wood because it has kind of this fur texture to it. Like these lines running down, that kind of makes it look like it's hair. Alright, here is the banner. I'll place this first, and then that's what the banner looks like. I'm gonna make it now. You will need 1 black banner and 3 brown dye. First, or I guess it doesn't actually matter the order that you do things, but you're going to want to do a gradient on both sides like that. So it's mostly brown, but it's a bit dark in the middle. And then pick the lines like so. And there you have it. Right right there. It's mostly brown, but it's got some darker streaks in it. Alright, let's move up. We're almost to the giant belly that he's got. Which is going to be sticking out a bit. I always thought that was a funny design choice. Lots of trapdoors, lots of fences. It may look a bit strange because he's only got one arm, but that's because the other one is extending out, so it's not going to be hanging low. Stripped spruce wood is what that is. That's a spruce trapdoor. That one's dark oak. Got some walls here and some trapdoors right there. That's looking good. Alright, here's kind of the skin tone part. And it's going to be a bit darker than most other ones that I've built before. And instead of having granite walls all over, I've got these jungle fences instead. So if you want to replace them, then you can choose to do that if you want. Alright, looks like we're going to start on the arm now. But first, let's get these solid blocks in. This you can also choose to replace with stairs, would also work. But I'm going with a full block. This is supposed to be facing that way. You have to make some temporary blocks. A bit of texture variation with the jungle and the oak. And now we've got this arm, the bottom of it at least. There we go. You can see how it's coming along now. Here's the next layer. Got some lighter colors. More fences on the back. Spruce, dark oak. Some jungle trapdoors on the sides of the body. Alright, I guess this is supposed to be a normal full block, but I used slabs for that. And there we go. You can see kind of how this is rounding out. If you don't like this in between because of the fences, which I'm not a total fan of, but I did decide on this looking the best. If you don't think so, then just fill in some of these fences with actual blocks. Some downwards pointing stairs right there. Or maybe not downwards, kind of depends on what direction you would call this. And then some trapdoors along there and also here. Fences, rounded out, some stairs, and granite walls right there. this is the hand, and it's going to be gripping the boulder. So this is going to be meant like the thumb. If you think about holding a rock with your right hand, this is like the thumb. And then I went with this because it has partial like finger color and then partial rock color. Stare like that. Stare like that. Next layer. And then you just go around in a circle for those. And that is the right arm all done. This might be a bit hard to follow along with. So here's a better look at that. More trapdoors. Solid block right there. And you might not need all these blocks to fill that in. But the head is going to be going right here, so best to cover it up. Now you can see a better look at what it's going to look like. Alright, now we're almost at the head, which is going to be the trickiest part. Stairs are bending like that. Normal stair in the middle and then two pointing outwards connected to it. Trapdoor there, stairs. This is going to be the bottom of the beard right here. And I like to keep spruce on the outside to make this look more distinguished instead of having everything be dark oak. There we go. Alright, let's do this part first and then I'll explain what you can do for the head. So these stairs are going to look like that and that, pointing outwards. I'll fill these in so it's easier to see. And these are just normal signs. Or at least dark oak signs, not oak ones. And here we've got something people might say is an illegal building technique, which can only be done with World Edit. So if you have access to World Edit, you can follow along. I'll show you how to do this. But if you don't, I recommend using lecterns like this. Like that. Actually, no, the other way around. Like that. And it might be a bit bothering because, let's see, it'll end up looking kind of like that, and it has sort of like a little mouth right here, which is hard to not see, even though this is not supposed to be a mouth. It's hard to not see that as a mouth. So depending on what you think is better, you can just use solid blocks here, or maybe stairs like that. I can't really predict how things are for everyone, so I'm just going to show it with World Edit, and if you don't have that, then I'm sure you can think of something to do instead. So make stairs like that. You'll have to have a stair right here in order for them to both be like that. / wand. Select both of them. Copy that on a block that you know you're going to be able to get on again. I'm going to put these on now. Go back on that block and paste, and then you'll get this illegal building technique. If you move the trapdoors, it depends on which one. it is, but they can be undone. So just kind of be careful with that. For this next layer, I'm going to be using the same exact trick, but I first have to do a couple things in order for it to not break when I do those other things later. So, solid blocks there with that, and it depends on if you want to do stairs like that, which you can do, which doesn't look bad. You've still got these solid blocks in the back, so you can get that same face color, whatever that is. But I personally prefer doing this. So you first have to have any block there, place the levers on the sides, and then depending on where you copied it, you have to paste it in the exact direction, in the exact spot that you want it to be pasted in. And there. That's how it looks for me. If you are also using World Edit to do this, you should be able to follow along. And if you don't know how to do it, then ask any questions you have in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer those. So now the eyes are going to be on that level. I've got 2 invisible item frames right here, and the music disc that's yellow. 13 is the best choice. If you want to have red eyes, you could use these nether warts or redstone, red dye maybe, because sometimes he has red eyes, sometimes they're yellow. I went for the yellow because I think it looks the best. And now we're almost done. Top of the head. And this might actually break, depending on, it just kind of depends on how you use the world edit. Maybe it depends on the direction. But sometimes it does break, sometimes it doesn't. And for me, it's fine. But if it does happen, then you'll have to just do it over again. No big deal. And that is it. That is the Beast Titan built in a 1-to-1 scale in Minecraft. Thank you to Nav9 for coming up with this original design. And if you like this build and you thought this tutorial was helpful or fun to watch, then you can let me know in the comments or by leaving a like. I would always appreciate that. And if you want to see more of these, you can click on the playlist that this is now a part of, or you can subscribe and wait for any future tutorials. Kind of depends on when you're watching this, but the next one I'm going to make is going to be the Ymir Jaw Titan, which is probably going to be a short tutorial, but I am trying to do them in the order that they show up. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.